Hi everyone, thanks for watching my channel. You designers out there, just looking for design tips, this is the place to be. I am coming from a job. I'm exhausted, but while it was on my mind, I wanted to sit down and do this video because, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, I like to talk about things when I come from the design while it's fresh on my mind, because there are some things that I just can't get past. Um, y'all know a lot of these things already because you've watched my other videos, and it's things that are important to me that I talk about in these other videos, and y'all know my major pet peeve are those curtains. Those curtains, guys. You know it's serious when we come in the office and we have these discussions that we're about to have teaching moments. Again, I am not judging anyone for their decisions on what it is they do, because design is art, artist choice. Art is subjective. Whatever you like is your design style, and it's okay. With that disclaimer aside, there's some things that we just have to do if we want to design a look, period. I'm sorry, it's out there. I said it. I'll wait on the comments and the boos. Don't call a designer to come and design your home if you're not willing to take the advice. Enough said. A clean room is a design room. Let's start with that. The first thing to do, and the most inexpensive thing you can do, is walk into your room, clean it up, and declutter it. I mean that sincerely, because clutter in your space creates clutter in your face. As simple and ridiculous as that sounds, it is so true. It just completely takes up too much of your brain to have to focus and move around all of the clutter. So the first thing that we do is we walk in the room and we decide, what is it I don't use? I didn't say what is it I don't need. I said, what is it I don't use? Whatever you don't use in that room, and we have to do this room by room. It's important to do this room by room. Walk into the room. If you see a plethora of items that you don't use, get a box. I don't care what kind of box, preferably those containers that Dollar Tree sells. They're plastic containers. I heard through the grapevine that you can actually get these containers for free if you ask the right person. That's another video. But get those containers and fill them up with the things that you just don't use. I didn't say throw them away. You're going to be okay. Put them in the box that you don't use and get them out of the room. Instant transformation. I promise you, instant transformation. Once you've done that step, because it's a process, I'm not telling you anything that I haven't had to do myself. It's a process because we always feel like we need these things. I'm going to need this eventually. I'm going to use this eventually. 9 times out of 10, we never do, and we never get to it, but we like to hold on to it, and that's okay. Put it away. Put it in a place. Have a place for everything. Again, I can do a whole nother video on what things we can buy to declutter, what things we can buy to organize, because organization is a whole monster and a task to take on within itself. But a clean room is a design room. Look anywhere. Pick up a design book. Pick up a magazine. It's not done like that just because it's a pretty photo. It creates a pretty space. So declutter. Let's start there. There's a lot of ways of decluttering. And, you know, when I talk about these things, I try not to make these videos too long. So I try to just stay on the surface and topic of what I'm talking about. But decluttering is also a design trick as far as buying these little bitty knickknack items. I have a little secret. I like, no, that's a lie. I'm lying to you all. I love teapots. Not very many people know that about me because I have tried to train myself to stop buying them. But I love them. I love teapots. Like someday, when I become a big girl, when I become a real adult, I want to have a space that I'm okay with it in my mind, and I don't care who says anything about it. I want to have a space where I can just put all of my teapots, because I'll see a teapot and I just love them. And it's, it doesn't have to be some elaborate teapot. They're just so cute. My 13-year-old and I do share tea time, but I have this one tea kettle that I love. It's a copper tea kettle, excuse me, if that's the wine. And one real teapot, because those are two different things, and we can have another discussion about that as well if you want. Drop your comments. That we share tea time with. But my secret passion is to just have hundreds of them. My secret passion. Okay, with that being said, moving on. So the next thing that I want to talk about are well, I can't say this is an inexpensive way to create design in your space, but it is definitely something that it's a DIY, if you may. And I can give you some tips and tricks on that. But design books will elevate your space. It sounds silly, and a lot of the things that I say sound silly, which is why I feel like I have to show people. Design books steps it up a notch. Here's the trick. I'm not talking about those little mini books or your little kids' textbooks, or even the books that you see behind me that's too small. So yeah, that's good, because y'all like it when I just show you things. So the books that you see behind me, that's too small. Those are real books that we really use, that I flipped backwards because it just looks better. Which again, you can use this trick as well. In any design, I flipped the books opposite because we actually use these books. Some of my daughter's cookbooks, and some books that she's read, some books that's been donated to us, etc. Some old paralegal books from when I was a paralegal. Boring. No, just kidding. But we actually refer to these books and use these books a lot, but they're ugly when they're actually facing outward. And, being a designer, I didn't like the way they looked, so I flipped them to the other side. So if you're looking for the book, you need to know what size it is or what have you. Good luck. But design books elevate your space. Big design books. Think big. Big books. Say it with me. Big books. If you cannot afford to purchase the big design books, because I have a few favorites. The Tom Ford book, you will see a lot. You see a lot of designers with the Tom Ford book. I am not endorsing Tom Ford at all. Tom Ford does not send me anything for talking about his book, but let me just tell you, when you have it in your space, it is such a big book. It does a lot. The color is just black, like material. It's not even book material. It's like a fabric material, and it's all black, and the words are in all white, and it's a heavy book that comes in its own box. That another trick is I put the box in a different spot with books on top of it, and then the book in a different spot. So you're the lucky winner if you actually go to the spot where it's the real book. Another thing I like to talk about that elevates your space, and it's tricky. When you hear me pause, it's because it's tricky. I have to be careful what I say, because I don't want everybody to just go out there and just go buy these things, and then they put them in a spot and they just throw them on the table, and they're like, Hope said this will work, but it's not working for me. You still need a designer to show you some things, where to put it, how to put it, and what to do with it. I'm just trying to give you the gist of everything, because some of you creators out there are awesome, because you've sent me pictures. When you send me your private messages, I wish you would put them on a comment so other people can see. But you guys are out there rocking, and you can be creative. So when I say that, what I mean by that is, if you can't afford to go get a Tom Ford book, you know how to go out there to the Dollar Tree and buy the supplies to make your book look like it could be better than a Tom Ford book, is what I'm saying. Just make it big. just make it a statement. Be happy and comfortable and have fun with it. And I assure you, you are going to just love that space because it's something that you created. You don't always have to go out there and get the Coco Camellia experience. You can do it yourself and be happy. Just take the tips and tricks and use them because they're valuable. People pay me a lot of money to hear these things. You know, they're paying me for this and I'm just giving it to you for free right now. So it's valuable. But back to area rugs. So I get off track so easily because I love talking about this stuff, y'all. Y'all know I do. But area rugs. You don't have to buy the most expensive area rug that's in the store, but you have to buy the area rug that fits your space. And you have to play with the shapes. Here's what I like to do. You do not have to follow this. This is not a rule of thumb. This is just Hope's rule. If my client or myself has a circular, round table, and I use the word circle because we're talking about shapes. So if the table is a circle, I like the area rug to be a circle. It plays with the eye. Don't ask me the history on why, because I couldn't tell you. There's someone out there who can. It's just not me. You just have to trust me and trust what I'm saying. So if you're putting an area rug, which I strongly suggest, underneath your coffee table or what have you, and it's a round coffee table, then your area rug should be round. Your area rug should be extremely larger than that coffee table. And I'm going to give you another example of what I mean by that. If you have a square dining room table, and then you have a square area rug, okay? Your area rug should be able to fit all of your furniture on it. Boom. Just like that. That's class over. Did you hear what I said? If you have a square dining room table, okay, because we're talking about if we put an area rug in a dining room. I like to do that because I like area rugs. Area rugs elevate your space. So if you have a square area rug, okay, square area rug, and I'm doing it on my desk and you guys totally can't see that. So I'm going to go up in the sky. If you have a square, was that a square? No, that's not a square. That's a rectangle. God, some of us need to go back to elementary. Okay, so a rectangle dining room table. And then we buy a nice rectangle area rug, okay, that we love, that we're in love with. You want to be able to put your table in the middle of that area rug, yes. And let's say it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chairs that goes along with this table. I don't care of the size of the table. Let's just say it has 6 chairs that goes with this table. You have your 2 captain chairs, yeah, and you have 2 chairs on the right side, 2 chairs on the left side, right? Your area rug is on the outside of those surrounding chairs. So the chairs are around the table. We can still see area rug around the chairs, peeking out from the chairs. If we cannot, your area rug is too small for your area. Let's listen to the words. They're called area rugs because they carpet that area. Your area rug is too small for that area, and you are cheapening your look. If it's the most expensive table that you've ever seen or bought, if it's the most expensive area rug you've ever seen or bought, when you pull your chairs out to have a seat, if the chair does not go past the area rug when you pull that chair out, the rug is too small. Quick fix, designer trick. You don't have to go out and replace that expensive rug. You can go get an underlying mat or underlying fabric or some jute, anything that you desire. Jute is in right now. Oh my God, jute rugs. Okay, we can just have a whole nother dialogue on jute rugs. Look them up. They're beautiful. But you can go get something and just have that peek out on those edges and extend it, and boom, problem fixed, and it looks great. I've done it several times. I've done it for clients' homes. I may have to be doing it in my home for a different space. But I've also done it on my walk-up for my doormat, because yes, this also includes doormats, because what is a doormat? A doormat is a what? A rug, okay? So the next thing we're going to talk about are flowers. We have talked about this to death. We have beaten this dead horse, however you want to say it. We're going to sip. Everybody sip together. You must have greenery in your space. Period. Boom. Check it off the list. Greenery, 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 greenery. Why? It elevates the space. It brings life into the space. When you walk into your home, you want to see life, right? You live there. It's not a museum. It's not a funeral parlor. Because people are like, Hope, I have too many flowers. It looks like a funeral home in here. No, that's not a thing. Okay, that is a thing. You can't have too many flowers. Again, you're going to have to refer to me with some questions or your designer of preference. But bring in some greenery. Remember we did the little trick about bringing in the plant and taking the plant out? Remember when we did that, on one of those older videos? It just, look how pretty. I mean, look how much life that adds, that's just, it's so nice. And this is not even real, but you can pretend to smell it and, have it do its thing. It's good. It's okay. I like white flowers, as probably obvious. I like white flowers because white flowers, and this is going to sound silly, white flowers don't fight with me. White flowers don't argue back. They have a subtle appearance. They come in like, oh, bam, I'm here to make this space look good. I don't have to talk back to you. You don't have to talk back to me. I'm just white flowers over here chilling, making this space pretty. I love that. White flowers, as simple as they are, they make such a grand statement. So try not to get a lot. Oh my goodness, that's a whole. See, we open up another can of worms. When I go to design a house and there are hundreds, and I'm not kidding, guys, I've seen it, hundreds of dusty fake plants that are all kinds of colors in the rainbow. Stop doing that. Stop it. Stop doing that. Just get you some pretty white flowers. It doesn't matter what kind of flowers. My preference are lilies and orchids, and you'll see that around my home once I finally get to do that home tour video that I've been talking about. It's amazing, guys. But if you cannot do that, if you just are against that for whatever reason, just get some real plants that are green. Even if you don't have a green thumb, and I am not going to sit here and preach to you about how to take care of a plant, because let me just tell you, green thumb, that's not my thing. They are people who are educated, horticulturists out there that know what they're doing. Speak to them, go to your local Lowe's or Home Depot and support their cause and talk to them about what plants you can keep alive, because I'm not going to sit here and talk about things that I don't know anything about. That is not my sandbox. But I know from experience, there are plants out there that you can keep alive. And they just add so much life and just such a designer touch. Just get a green plant and just talk to it and stick with it. Even if it's a fake one, there are tools out there, and I can link some things that I use to keep those even looking nice and green and alive. We've already talked about this to a great length, but I'm just going to say it again. If your curtains are not up to the ceiling and down to the floor, they're too short at the bottom and at the top. If your curtains are not extended past the window frame, they are not wide enough. So I'm going to be as specific about this as I possibly can. If you have 8 8-foot or 9-foot ceilings. You are buying curtains that are 96 inches or maybe longer, depending on the height that you're going. And I paused at that. I paused for a reason because my ceiling, I have a 23-foot ceiling, and we're not going to even talk about the curtains for that. And I also have in my office a 9-foot ceiling. So the curtain size that I buy are 108 inches, which are not easy to find. So that's why I'm saying you can at least do 96 inches, and then you can adjust the height. You can adjust the height space to get it where you need it to be. But if you're buying 84 and under for 8 and 9-foot ceilings, that's probably wrong. And I'm just trying to find the most PC way to tell you that, because curtains are expensive. Curtains are not cheap. Unless you're someone who knows how to make curtains, which, oh my God, please inbox me if you do, because I'm always looking for somebody who's great. That's great with making curtains. But yeah, unless you have like some special place that you go to get your curtains. And don't get me wrong, there are beautiful curtains out there that are not expensive. I personally like 100% linen curtains, and we'll have a whole nother chapter about that. But if you're buying curtains that are not at least 96 inches long when you have an 8 or 9-foot ceiling, chances are you are not getting the design look that you are striving for. And remember, your curtains are supposed to frame the window. They don't just hang there. They don't just hang there lifeless. They are supposed to frame the window. So you're probably going to buy 2 packs of curtains so that you are actually framing your window. You want them to pull. And I'm going to show you a no-no, and I'm going to show you a picture of what it should look like, because I am on the no-no side in my office, because unfortunately my office has been neglected a little bit because I've just been so busy. But the curtains that I have in my office, they're not finished. So it's a great opportunity for me to show you what not to do. And unfortunately, it's something that I'm doing wrong myself. But I will also show you my dining room curtains, but because that's where everybody gathers. So of course I spent time there, making that look like I wanted it to look. And that's the way your curtains should look. So I'll show you both ways. Another thing that I want to quickly discuss before I pop off is lighting. Lighting is important. I have lighting over all of my artwork. I have lighting in areas that I just want to emphasize greatness. Lighting plays such an important part in the design of your home, in a design look. If you walk into a home and it's dark and it's dingy, that can easily be fixed with lighting. Lighting is so cool because there's so many tools and things you can do to elevate the lighting in your space. It is amazing. And I'm not talking about things where you have to go out and hire an electrician and etc. I mean, you can just like click on an Amazon link and buy some inexpensive picture lighting and watch what happens. Get some batteries. I think that most of them require AA batteries. I did this video like on the fly as I was walking through the door, so I didn't do my research like I should have, but I wanted to get this out before I forget. Most of them that I have, I believe, they require AA batteries. So I mean, you know, you can go get your pack of batteries, order these little expensive lights, and completely elevate your space. And just hang them over artwork that you have on the wall or wherever you want. Have fun with it. Remember, this is your home. This is your space. It has to be what you like. What I'm telling you are just my tips and things that I like to do and things that I know help make a designed looking space. But you have to like it and you have to enjoy it because you live there, not me. So just have fun with it. So what I like to do is, you know, I order those and I just hang them over my paintings and hang them over like a mirror or anything that you want to highlight, that you want to highlight. And just, it will just uplift you and make you smile. And you can do that also with lamps. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but lamps also provide great lighting. Floor lamps, desk lamps, table lamps. It's it's so easy to do. And, unfortunately, people make it difficult because they get overwhelmed. Just take it one step at a time. Listen, watch my videos, rewind them, listen to some of the tips, and just take it one step at a time, and you will get there. It doesn't happen instantly. It doesn't happen overnight. If it does, it's more than likely wrong for you anyway. You're not going to enjoy it. A part of the fun for me is taking the time to make it actually look like I want it to look, and going out and, just pricing things and looking at different items and looking at different lighting. That's the fun part. There are so many things out there, and that's just the fun part. And of course, due to COVID, we can't go out. Oh, I miss that. We can't go out and just look and play with things, you know, like before COVID. But I mean, there's so much online, and if you trust shopping online, it's such a bigger place to shop, right? So I just want to end this video with talking about paint. So you can completely elevate your space quickly, easily, and inexpensively with just paint. Go into the room, see what you're looking for, because of course there are different types of paint. You have your eggshell paint, you have matte finishes, you have shiny finishes. I personally feel like if you're going to start a project anew, use a shiny paint on the walls, depending on where you're going, and you can ask me those questions, drop in your comments, ask those questions. But paint can completely transform your space instantly, just like that, and it's something that you can get done over the weekend. So you guys have fun, keep designing the designers. Drop your comments, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and comment on everything that you want to comment on, and you guys have a good evening. Bye.